Take a moment right here, feeling like it's out gear. Running, running, no. Keep running.
Don't get me wrong, this chapter was good, but at the same time, the biggest thing I take away from this amazing chapter is that we did not see Bonnie actually consume her fruit and how she got her fruit and where she found her fruit. The way Oda actually broke it down, the origins of the pacifistas, the way how they came together, the way that Kuma and Dr. Vegapunk came as one to have a better good. And it seemed like we already knew that the girls knew from the beginning what they really wanted to do with the pacifistas. And it's not Vegapunk's fault. It's not Kuma's fault. They did not know the true meaning of the pacifistas, right? The true meaning what the girls say who hired Dr. Vegapunk to do this amazing job to create this Terminator-like being to install fear in every corner of the blues. And the way that Kuma actually had all the fans of One Piece understand why he sent every single Straw Hat to the certain destination on Sobeodi. Like, he visited those places, right, to actually try to cure Bonnie's sickness. Now, King Buccaneer finally got his dealt with in this chapter. Finally, even though he came back and tried to cleanse the south side of Sorbet Kingdom. Now, we see how Kuma actually took a stand, right, and did what he had to do for the people, right? The pacifist that he really is, right? He don't really want war, but if you come to his doorstep, he will bring it to you. Kuma did a legendary thing. He was on a solo mission, right, to make sure the Sorbet Kingdom would not see Buccaneer again, right? And this went down in history, right? The solo rebellion of Kuma. So he definitely did that, and I would praise Kuma for doing this. Kuma know what was right, and he got this title of tyrant because of this righteous action he did. And also, it didn't take long for the girls to actually find out what Kuma was doing on Sorbet Kingdom, but definitely Bulldog had Kuma covered. And we seen where actually Bonnie got this old lady from, and during the Leverly arc, we see that Bonnie got older and aged herself to make it seem like she's Bulldog's mother. But then again, King Buccaneer insists on coming back, and Kuma knew that during this time that he might have to make the ultimate sacrifice. He was going to be a wanted man because King Buccaneer brought the Marines with him now, and we see actually Kuma sunk all their ships. So that made Kuma a wanted man, wanted by the government, right? Because of the simple act that he did with Buccaneer, trying to attack Buccaneer with the Marines around him. Like, he sent on another solo mission with one boat, sunk all their ships. The biggest sacrifice Kuma made was on that day, actually going against the Marines, and he had to leave his daughter behind. I'm pretty sure Bulldog, right, knew the simple fact, but Kuma actually seen the people and seen how they would react if Buccaneer actually came back. So he made the ultimate sacrifice of having the people on Sorbet Kingdom not suffer because King Buccaneer was going to bestow his wrath on them again. Kuma definitely did the most ultimate sacrifice of leaving his daughter behind for the people. But after Kuma did this righteous thing of eliminating King Buccaneer and the Marines that came behind King Buccaneer, he took his time to actually do what he needed to do for Bonnie, right? Him being labeled a pirate was one of the best things he can do for Bonnie. He took this time out to search around for anybody that can cure Bonnie's illness. And like I said before, we seen where Kuma actually was on these islands that he sent the Straw Hats to, trying to actually find the cure for Bonnie, right? So it definitely correlates, right? He sent these Straw Hats to certain islands he needed to save his daughter. So that's somewhat caring for these Straw Hats, right? He knew that they can get better to these certain islands, and they definitely did within a 2-year span. But what Kuma did not know, the answer to actually cure Bonnie was always home with the Revolutionary Army. So he definitely met up with Dragon. We seen the interaction between Dragon and Kuma, and it's very heartfelt. So I think that Kuma definitely really wanted to come back to the Revolutionaries, but definitely his daughter's gonna come first through anybody. And Dragon, with the amazing moment of telling Kuma that there's somebody named Dr. Vegapunk who actually can cure Bonnie, right? And he's very highly securely guarded. Kuma would do anything to, you know, save Bonnie. So that was something I felt hard for because of Dragon helping Kuma, right? Because Kuma was at a loss at one point in time. He couldn't find anybody that can cure Bonnie. And at that very moment, I knew how righteous Dragon actually was. So I get big ups for Dragon. May the winds of fate guide us all well. Come on now, come on now. We know that there's something going on with Dragon and his powers, right? So it's already emphasized that the way that Dragon said this gives some reference to his power, his devil fruit power. Maybe Dragon has the wind element, Logia devil fruit. Because of certain things happening around Dragon, when we see Dragon, there's a lot of wind and storms going around, like, so maybe Oda actually hinted this right in this panel, that Dragon devil fruit is the wind Logia devil fruit. So after some time has passed, after Kuma met up with his fellow friends Dragon and the others, he went to go pick up Bonnie, and we see now Bonnie is actually training, right, but she can grow up and go alongside Kuma. And we see how Kuma's actually seeing Bonnie train and working so hard. So I'm pretty sure he's very proud of her. But as soon as he picks Bonnie up and take her to Dr. Vegapunk, this is where Kuma actually meet Dr. Vegapunk, and this is where Bonnie actually meet Dr. Vegapunk also. So we see the interaction between these two, and he's very like starstruck. Dr. Vegapunk is seeing Kuma and how big he is, right, and his muscular build, really his body structure. Dr. Vegapunk's an awe of seeing him, and we seen that this is where everything started from, right? The Pacifista creation, right? Dr. Vegapunk learning that Kuma's actually a Buccaneer, and I'm pretty sure he's really did research on Buccaneers, but not in the flesh, where he can take a sample of it and understand why the Buccaneers are so special. Kuma was definitely relieved to know that actually Dr. Vegapunk can cure Bonnie. The Sapphire Scale, he been looking around the corners of the blues to actually try to find a cure, and we have somebody right here, and he definitely gonna do anything he can to cure Bonnie, but at the same time it's gonna come with a cost. Now that we know the pacifistas are infused with Buccaneer DNA blood, we see how much endurance they have. This explains why it took the Straw Hats 2 years, where the power trio, you know, Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, it took them 2 years to actually learn how to train to beat one of these pacifistas, because they're infused with the Buccaneer DNA. They're somewhat strong and immense, and they have so much endurance where it takes somebody as strong as them to actually defeat a pacifista. And to this day, some certain people cannot defeat pacifistas because they're infused with the Buccaneer DNA. I get the question of how and which people actually eliminate the Buccaneers, because how strong they are. And the most crazy thing about it is Dr. Vegapunk still hold back his research because of this stem cell transplant things that can cure this blue sapphire disease, right, that Bonnie has. There's so much things that Dr. Vegapunk brings to the table, and we see that the girls, they don't care about that. They just care about war purposes. They think they want to conquer this world through sheer force with somebody as strong-minded as Dr. Vegapunk. That's one thing they care about. And on a side note, I'm pretty sure Bartolomeo Kuma could actually find ways of getting money to pay for this operation for Bonnie. He kind of sold his soul almost, and we seen how Dr. Vegapunk eyes was, little squinty eyes, how he was. He actually like kind of sold his soul to be able to cure his daughter. I know that anybody would did that, you know, in that situation. But coming forth, you see the devastation that pacifistas caused, right? Just because of Kuma saying, yes, you know, you can study, you know, my blood to make things better. But at the same time, like I said before, they did not know. Dr. Vegapunk Kuma did not know the outcome it would be, how devastating the pacifistas would actually be. Even the name derived from a pacifist, person that opposed war and any type of violence, right? And they're there to actually force the laws that the Marines, the world government has, right? By any means necessary, these pacifistas are there to definitely do anything they need to do, right? They're ordered to do, to wreak havoc if may be on the pirates, anybody with criminal activities, right? Listen, I understand that pacifistas have a job to do, but the way the girls say command them, the Navy command them to do all these crazy things, and have some other, you know, Shichibukai command these pacifistas to do crazy things, that's not a go-to thing. That shouldn't be good at all. And that's definitely why we have this new ranking system that Dr. Vegapunk has with the Mark II. Other pacifistas that who can command them are the Gurusei, Dr. Vegapunk, and the Stellas. And I see why we have this list of people that can command them, because of the simple fact that in bad hands they can do a lot of bad things. But it also begs a question to where was the point where Kuma actually wanted to turn to a full-blown Terminator. So during this time, we see that Vegapunk actually need more from Kuma to actually go forth or turning these pacifistas to these Terminators, or was it actually Kuma's decision? Now I'm thinking that maybe it was a decision that the Gurusei actually made Dr. Vegapunk do, or was it something that agreed to terms that had to be with Dr. Vegapunk and Kuma because Kuma actually told Dr. Vegapunk something, and Dr. Vegapunk knows a lot of what happened and what transpired with Kuma making the decision of becoming a full-blown Terminator. We're gonna have to see what's gonna happen next chapter on that part, because we're seeing that Kuma's mind frame is different from where we see in this chapter. Kuma's whole demeanor is different. It maybe can be a flip on flip off switch, like Terminator mode and Kuma mode, self mode, because we see how Kuma went to Mary Joa's, and she's trying to retrieve something. Like I said before, it's either Kuma trying to find Bonnie's true father or Kuma trying to take revenge on something. I don't know, but his mind frame has definitely been on the original Kuma mind frame, like crash down on Mary Joyce. If you crash down Mary Joyce and you run up for Aka Inu, your mind frame is not gone. You have something's going on. There's a mission that you want to accomplish with something. That's my only question of where the breaking point was and why you actually had to go through this. And maybe the opinion is he had to run away from the Gorosei. Had the Gorosei prove Kuma's not there no more, right? And the only way that he can prove that was to have Dr. Vegapunk bring in two different personalities in his membrane, a Terminator point and the Kuma point, where he can switch on and switch off. That's the only thing I can say about that. And I feel that maybe that's why Kuma went alongside of being full-blown Terminator, is because the Gorosei was threatening Bonnie. So he had to prove to the Gorosei that, yeah, I'm a Terminator, I lost my mind, I'm not capable of doing anything anymore. And I feel like Dr. Vegapunk, with his heart, definitely made that decision for Kuma. Like, you have to do this because the Gorosei is going to target your daughter no matter what. And plus, we see how fond the Navy, the Marines, the world government is with Bonnie. We've seen how Aka Inu, Blackbeard, all these people have like a kind of a soft spot for Bonnie in essence, because we've seen the interaction between them with Bonnie. I'm trying to see exactly why does she always get the slap on the wrist with coming in between contact with Aka Inu, Blackbeard, and some of the more powerful beings in One Piece. Even with the likes of Jay Garcia Saturn, like we seen how Bonnie actually stabbed Jay Garcia Saturn. He just healed himself. He let Bonnie stab him. For what reason? So it had to be a deal between Kuma and the Gorosei. It had to be some type of deal, negotiation, another sign on with the devil, with him, Kuma, and the Gorosei. Like, if I do this, don't touch Bonnie. Just leave Bonnie out of it. It had to be some of that inside the mist, because, like I said, Bonnie is highly favored, right? In between the pirates, between the Marines, between the government. Like, she goes on with a slap on the wrist, right? Nothing bad's happened to her. She just going by her way, and she just want to see her father. That's it. But all in all, we seen where the name Pacifista came from. It came from Kuma being a pacifist, you know, non-violent guy at all. But at the end of the day, they are violent. So we seen the origins of that. We seen how everything is coming together. Now, only thing left I can say is the deal that Kuma had with Dr. Vegapunk, the deal that Kuma had with everybody else, not harming Bonnie. That's what we're going to come forth with. And I think the ultimate price to pay for that deal was actually Kuma being a full-blown Terminator. But we see how the origins are coming together. We see how Kuma, Bonnie, you know, Dr. Vegapunk a little bit, and Dragon, how everybody is coming together to make this perfect alignment that Oda actually want for the story. But that is a chapter. I give it a chapter 9 out of 10 because of the simple fact that we did not see Bonnie consume her devil fruit, how her devil fruit would look in the flesh instead of an SBS drawing, you know. So, but 9 out of 10 for the rating. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to get more of me and more One Piece content. Stay safe. Love you. Love yourself. Peace.